Hello, and welcome to the Teacher Talk. I'm Ludmila Spivakova, and with me is Ludmila Zharikova, and we are pleased to have you on this web session, where we'll be helping you to develop the skills you need to become a more effective teacher on distance. As teachers, we are aware of the need of update of our skills and teach our learners skills for the 21st century. And we will be looking for exactly what it means and how you can do it. One important part of this is use technology, of course. Nobody in the world nowadays, especially exactly just now, know that the future will be and what the education is going to be. But it's sure that it will involve technology. That's why learning with tech tools is so important now for predicting future changing and adapting for the future without any stress. Knowing its possibilities and what we can do, using tools to be creative and to solve problems. Also, valuable skills that should be learned now and applied in years to come. Today, our Teacher Talk session is about beneficial points of distance learning. And if you can say so, just now we are going to put a glance on distance learning and learning itself in future.
We will spot on the difference between online learning and distance learning.
Just now I can say that it is about location, yes?
Yes.
Time.
And intention.
Oh, yes. Right, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Speaking about location, online learning can include the use of online tools and platforms while still being in a regular classroom setting. Distance learning, however, is remote and does not include any face-to-face interaction between student and teacher. When we speak about interaction, online learning can include interaction with teachers and peers, whereas distance learning does not have in-person interactions.
What do you mean about intention?
About intention, online learning can be used as a supplement for teachers in their courses, while distance learning replaces teachers with instruction that is preset on the learning platform.
Can you name just this situation now that happened with us? What kind of education is it? Just
here we have a remote education which combines the features of online learning and distance learning. You know that there is even a new concept of the third space which combines these features and creating a new kind of learning environment.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what is online learning? Just this question, yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes, online learning is when teachers or students use education tools which are accessible on the internet. It means the student can use these tools while they are physically in a classroom with their teachers and peers. Online learning can be used anywhere and anytime. So teachers may have students using them as tools in class or for preparation and assignment at home. These tools are often used to create blended learning environment in the classroom. This helps keep students engaged in the class and in the teaching materials.
Yes, I know. That's one more idea for that mm-hmm. To add for previous I was talking. That online learning also helps teachers save preparation time before class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? With the help of online education tools, teachers can spend more time grading papers, mocking essays, giving one-to-one attention to students, and maybe even getting some more time for themselves in their busy working schedule.
Sure. And how does distance education differ from online learning?
But distance education, for me, that's they are also compiling, also go together. But if to talk about that in general, about distance learning, how they differ from online learning, I can say that it does not include any in-person interaction with instructor, just like we know, and study peers. Students study at home on their own, and the learning is more individual and varies on speed and timeline according to each individual students and their availability. Distance learning actually relies on educational tools. They can be from online platform, and they use these educational tools of online learning, and that is probably why there is two are different.
Actually, we are going to talk about online tools during our next sessions, but it's a very vital point, of course.
Yes, next our session we are talking about different platforms that can be useful for all, both teachers and students, in their distance and online learning education. Yes, and just the sense of our talking today, that is beneficial points of distance learning in general. If we're talking about beneficial points, what can we say?
We can say that distance learning is extremely important.
Yes.
For those who can't attend school or some teaching programs.
Yes, that's right. Some different programs due to health complications, severe social anxiety, busy work schedule, or parenting demands as well. Or any other situation which make it necessary to be confined at home. We can provide distance education for students who may have physical or health restriction as well. Those who live in remote areas or those who cannot otherwise attend school due to current pandemic situation right now.
Especially in this situation we have at the moment.
And this provides the most important thing in education, that's equal opportunity for kids to access education despite restrictions or vacations.
And in general, because distance education is remote, it can connect students worldwide, not only in our country, and our students can have an opportunity to find some learning materials from other countries, from other...
Useful thing for you.
I think the first thing that comes to mind, student side and educator's side, is from a distance, online, on Zoom or on Skype. We all have those days where we might not want to leave when we have to leave. We want 30 more minutes. We want another hour. Well, there's one benefit. If we're in our home and we're doing these things from a computer, we have that other hour to kind of do what we want and take longer with our breakfast, these sort of things. So one benefit is, we may get better cooked food. We may eat a little bit better being home, not eating on the move. That's my thought, because I often am out moving and
saving time,
food isn't,
and saving time.
Yeah, and from a children's standpoint, I guess they just probably get to sleep a little bit longer, but maybe not. Maybe they have these same sort of behaviors depending on the age. And I guess from thinking of the textbook education part of it, it's a little bit different for the teacher. We're not at a board. We're creating different new ideas. I think every teacher is probably sort of figuring this out as they go along, but I think that's in some ways good. It's new creative ideas that the curriculum is kind of, they get stale over time.
If you can choose to work on distance or to work face-to-face, conduct class face-to-face or distance, what do you prefer?
I personally would choose face-to-face. That's how I started, and that's how I kind of like interacting with people face-to-face. But I think the larger group of my friends that teach English as well, they prefer the distance, and they prefer to sit 5 or 6 hours at the computer, and that's their day. But from my opinion is personally in person, I like the best.
It's a kind of energy, kind of interaction, live interaction, which helps.
And I think that really that answer is just from lack of, I haven't done a lot of teaching online, because as time went on and I got more advice from other friends that do it, I was starting to see the other values in this. And I think over time I could create that connection. Yes, I can create this connection in person pretty quickly, but I think I just have to figure out, new ways of doing that online, which I know is possible because I have friends that are able
And
to
what's
do
your
this.
recommendation about what age should be possible to teach online on distance?
Well, I mean, even though I said I didn't have much experience, when there was the first quarantine here last March, I did do conducted lessons with the kindergarten school I was working for then. I was working in person up until this, and she proposed the idea to try out a half-hour lesson with the kids, on Zoom on this same format. And half hour was about the maximum. Some days you could get the full attention for 30 minutes. Some days it was more like a 20 or for this level, this age anyways, 20 to 25 minutes, I think is a good amount of time for kids, kindergarten level anyways.
And that as well, it's possible to connect classes.
But there was, some of the class, I think they were beneficial to them as well as me. I mean, I was basically in my home figuring out ways to conduct a lesson with what I have in a home, and it wasn't that difficult, It
No,
wasn't,
that's not so difficult.
No, really.
Not so difficult, and for me as well. I love teaching online. I really love. And so let's come back to our beginning of the conversation. That's at the saving time. Yeah. Just it's better interaction. It's better interaction because if we are talking
much
about
more materials you can use on the internet and on the screen.
Especially with screen sharing. It's the screen sharing thing for the adults or, young adults, young kids.
It's kind of possible to make our lessons more visual.
More
that's
visual.
good. And of course, motivating enough. Yes.
I think it's not too good for small kids because they have a short attention span. And that's why, but at the same time, we can shift the surrounding, the environment, and it will be more interesting for them.
Yeah, I remember a couple of kids, they would travel here and there. I had some 10-year-olds I did some hour lessons with, normal 1 hour lessons. And, this kid came to school this day, I forgot my book. So now you're just sitting in this desk, they can't do anything. Well, she's on vacation at her home and I don't have my book. Oh, don't worry, I can screen share with you. We have it right here.
Yes.
So there was these benefits.
That is also for them, that's how to say that motor skills. Developing motor skills is also a good idea, by the way, if we are talking about little kids.
Forces them into this, because some of them still...
Growth and little skills, they develop during the online
and
teaching.
For adolescent students, it's good too because they like working with the gadgets, like searching some information on the net, surfing the net, and it's motivate them more to work and to find it interesting.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the world of education is over. Online, for sure.
Thank you today.
All
Okay, thank you for this, our teacher talk. That is our first session, teacher talk. And I can remind you that my colleagues, that Ludmila Zharikova, Ryan Beaver, American teacher, and me, Ludmila Spielkova. See you soon next
Next time.